Greetings, brochachos. It's the one, the only, Drunk on Syrup. And I have some stuff to talk to you today, Sens Army, because I think we need to be talked off the ledge just a little bit, just like any other normal fan base. But I just want to remind everyone that despite our playoff run last year, which was amazing to watch, and it was one of the best experiences in our hockey that I've ever had, just the rivalry that is created or re-sparked, beating the Habs in the playoffs like that. There's about 7 of us, but over the past offseason, we have grown as a fan base. There are plenty of new members, and I do welcome them with open arms. They have been some of the funniest guys I've met, but also with that comes this sense of panic and urgency. Like, this is the year we need to win the cup, and let me tell you, it is not. The Sanders are in year 4 of a 5-year rebuild. If you look at the seasons before this, if you are a new Sens fan, and I understand that hockey is becoming a more worldly popular sport, or I guess an internationally known sport, and some people may see the Sanders and think that's a good young team. I think we are one of the youngest teams in the NHL. I'm gonna look that up, but just to talk about it, like, we have some of the best young players coming up. In 4 years, we're still going to have Kyle Turris under contract, and we're going to have Erik Karlsson. They're going to be in their late 20s, getting to their early 30s in their prime. So we're going to do fine. We have 2 really core players, and then we have Robin Lehner, who I think is going to develop. He has had some struggles this year, but our goalies did stand on their head last year with all the injuries, and they didn't live up to the hype, probably because we raised our expectations too high, especially with the acquiring of Bobby Ryan in the offseason. I can definitely see why people would expect, like, oh, well, if they made the second round last year, could they make it past the second round? No. The Sanders right now aren't good enough to be able to jump the Pittsburgh Penguins, to jump the Tampa Bay Lightning right now, despite the fact I think that in a few years this all could change, because the Sens have some great prospects coming up. They have Ludwig Karlsson, Curtis Lazar, Shane Prince. If he ever gets his opportunity, I hope he does well. We saw guys like Mike Hoffman and Stefan DaCosta step up and show they can play in the big leagues. The point is, we can't be panicking right now. We did lose a first round draft pick, and our season wasn't that great. Would I like to have that draft pick back? Kind of, but not really. Also, other things that you need to look at is we are spending less money, and this is also a rag on our management, Eugene Melnick, and just, I don't know, the whole situation is crazy. But we are spending less money than the Colorado Avalanche, who are having a great season. They're another great young team. And the Florida Panthers. And the Buffalo Sabres. So right now, for where we are and how much money we're spending, we're doing fine. We just need to relax. We need to trust McLean, because too many people have been jumping on McLean, calling for his head, saying, oh, why should you use fucking Chris Neal and Zach Smith? Because on the average night, Chris Neal and Zach Smith were our better players. Those two are our best forecheckers. They get in the corners, they dig for the puck, and they cause chances. Whether you like to admit it or not, Chris Neal and Zach Smith are 2 of our better players, and they are excellent third line compared to what some teams have to put up with. Another concern was our fourth line in wasting, I use air quotes as best as I can, Mika Zibanejad and his potential. Mika Zibanejad is a young Swedish center. If you don't know, we drafted him 6th overall, and he's only 20 years old. This guy has years to develop. He's going to be great. I can feel it. He has a killer slap shot. I think it was 106 miles per hour that was recorded at the Sens skill competition. But we need everyone just to relax. The team's young. Even guys like Jared Cowan, who I know had an off year, but Jared's going to adjust. We need to relax. We can't pull a Brian Lee scenario twice. Jared Cowan is 23. He's going to develop into another stay-at-home defenseman. He's going to be a very Chris Phillips-like player. And I know people were yelling for us to trade Phillips at the deadline, but again, another terrible, terrible idea. We're the youngest team in the league, and our veterans consist of Chris Phillips, Chris Neal, and Jason Spezza. These guys are important because we need to keep them around to develop these younger guys. We can't just rely on great coaching. We need to lead by example. And we have guys like Mark Mathot and Milan Michalek, who may be coming back next year if he decides to take a pay cut. We have a young, good Russian defenseman in Patrick Wirkosh, who is a big body. He just needs to learn how to use it a little more. Eric Gryba has developed his game well. He's been a little gun-shy since the Lars Eller hit, but he has improved. Colin Greening's expectations, in my opinion, were raised far too high. He was given the chance to play with Jason Spezza, and he didn't click. Couldn't produce much offense. And he is, at his very core, a line 3 player. So, going into the draft, what I believe we need to do is to wait. We can draft a winger or a defenseman in the second round. Does it hurt that we lost our first rounder? Yes, especially if Bobby Ryan leaves for Philadelphia. But I hope, because Melnick has said he will shell out the players. He will shell out. He won't shell out the players. He'll shell out the money to sign players. And that's what we need to do. If we can re-sign Bobby Ryan for a 4-year deal, which would be excellent, and if we can get Hemsky back, that'd be also good. I think we can make a serious contention in 2 to 3 years. In 2 to 3 years, the Ottawa Senators will be in the playoffs, will be making deep runs, and we just need to relax. We're in the rebuilding mode. We have a good captain. Arguably, we could have kept the other one, and it would have helped, but we're stuck. We need to make do with what we have, and Jason Spezza, I think, can be that leader. Kyle Turris is definitely going to develop into that kind of player. At least I hope so to see that. Cody Ceci looked great coming up from Bingo. Hopefully we can see more great players coming out of Bingo, because they are obvious. If you haven't been paying attention, they are one of the best AHL teams in the market right now. They're an absolute killer, so it's just going to prove that we're going to be developing more and more NHL players. Mark Mathot had no problems this year, despite injury troubles. He pretty much almost killed Sidney Crosby, so that was his highlight of his year. Phillips re-signed another deal, so he'll be around to develop the guys with Wirkosh and Gryba, Cowan. Hopefully they work a little more closely together, I hope to see. And especially Cody Ceci. Carlson, it's hard to say this. It's kind of a lot. It's not, okay. You need to let me finish my explanation when I do this before you get angry at me. But when I say Carlson is a lost cause, Carlson is going to do whatever Erik Karlsson wants to do. So Phillips isn't going to be able to teach him. So all he can really do is just show the other guys the ropes. Hopefully we got Chris Neal back next year. We have Eric Condra back next year, who is a great penalty killer. Hopefully they can find another guy to work with him on the PK unit on the fourth line. Maybe some guy from Bingo can come up and kind of adjust into that position. But that's all I have to say, guys. My name's been Drunk on Syrup, and all we need to do is just relax. Like, that's all we need to do. If you enjoyed this 9-minute rambling on the Senators, please be sure to let me know. I want to get into radio broadcasting, and I might be doing more stuff like this. As always, guys, my name's Drunk on Syrup, and thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.